Drew, Bulldogs are in the top 8.
Yep.
How does it feel?
Yeah, again, we had a sort of chat about it the other day, and although we are in the top 8, I feel we've sort of let a few games go that we should have won. And as sort of positive as the start we've had of the year, we're not happy where we're at the moment. We want to improve, and we know we can improve and be pushing sort of for that top 4.
Sarah said that there was a couple of games you just mentioned that
Yeah.
didn't quite ice the end.
Yeah.
But it must make you and the team feel pretty good that you can go toe-to-toe with a team like Melbourne, which a lot of clubs haven't this year.
Yeah, again, it's been the hard thing to take. I mean, you hear, you're sort of sticking with those teams, but we know sort of we should be winning those games, and that's the disappointing thing for us. And I mean, it's a good environment to be in where that's the case. I mean, we're not happy with where we're at. We want to get better, and I mean, every day we've been coming in here aiming to improve, and we know we got more in us.
Do you feel like you're on schedule, ahead of schedule, behind schedule? Like, how does it? Everyone talks about these plans and progression.
Yeah.
For a team that has been missing the 8 for a while. Where do you think you guys are currently?
Oh, for sure. I feel like as a team and as a club, we're in a really, really positive spot. But again, I don't think putting a position on where we should be or where we should sit, I feel like that's not going to do this team any justice. I mean, each week we want to be putting our best game, and I know it's a bit cliche, but if we keep chasing that, I know we're going to be in the right spot at the end of the year.
Do you feel a bit envious, like, or is it part of the game plan? You're on the right, you just see that left edge humming and coming along so right. Like, how does it feel as the right edge player, just seeing them carve up week after week?
Oh, I mean, we see it at training every week. I mean, they're doing it against us, but it's again, you can sort of look at the athletes they got on that out there, and sort of, you know what, it's probably across the park in our team. We've got some incredible athletes, and I suppose someone who's probably not as athletic as them, I just need to get them the ball and let them do their work.
How do you think the right edge is kind of like critters come across now? How do you think that's building?
Yeah, again, I feel we're pretty new side all over, and I feel like combinations they take time, and every day we're training it and we're working at it. But I feel we've got quality players across the park, and it's a pleasure to be a part of.
How do you feel like you've settled into that role as being the number 1 game manager?
Yeah, in a way, and I mean, again, as I sort of said before, you look at the athletes that we do have in our team, and I wouldn't call myself one of them. So I sort of, my job is just to sort of give them as much chance as possible to shine and to sort of showcase what they can do, and that's break open games, and again, it's always part of our game plan.
I don't know if you hear it or you listen to it, like there's been talk this year about, especially early this year, let's say before the Newcastle game, about the Bulldogs halves and whether it's the right fit and whether changes need to be made or not. Like, do you take that personally if you do hear it, or how do you sort of handle it?
The only time I really hear is when people are sort of, even like friends of mine, are bringing it up. I don't really pay much attention to that, but again, the only thing that we can control is how we play, and I feel like each week we turn up to training and we're doing our best, and we're sort of taking as much information as we can, and that's, at the end of the day, that's all we can really do. I mean, control what we can control in these balls, and that's all that really matters to me.
Did you feel like? Did you feel like that Newcastle game, like with 36 points, it was a bit of a statement game that your attack? Hey, like, there are a lot of points in this team. Yeah,
for sure. I feel not so much that it was a statement. I feel like it's just a sort of tip of the cap that what we're working towards is sort of working, and again, there's going to be tough games where we're going to have to grind it out 14-12, and then there's other games where we're going to be able to score points, and that's just up to, I suppose, us as a team to sort of execute that.
Have you ever needed, or maybe has Cameron Serrato ever offered sort of reassurance that he's happy with the halves pairing and that kind of thing, or has it just not been necessary?
I suppose you're a professional athlete, I don't think you really need reassurance of your position. I mean, each day you've got to come in here and sort of be your best, and if you're not at your best, and if you're not sort of pulling your weight, the club's strong enough to make changes, and I feel like as an adult and a grown man, you don't really need reassurance from people. It's more just having the confidence in yourself and the confidence in players around you.
Do you feel a little bit vindicated, Drew, especially because, as Scott mentioned, into the season there was a lot of talk about, whether it's the right halves pairing, but you're top 8 now with a halfback in a top 8 team. Do you feel a little bit vindicated?
Again, not really. Like, I to be honest, I don't really pay much attention to that sort of stuff. I mean, it's a lot of things that, again, I spoke about it before, that I can't really control, and if you sort of spend a lot of time worrying about that, you're gonna miss a lot of good things that are going on. And yeah, I suppose not just as a player, but as a person, that can't really have an impact on me.
You've played on some successful teams over the years. Do you feel that this is a squad that has those character traits to build in among those top teams in the comp?
For sure. I mean, again, going back to the first question, I mean, we lose a game to Melbourne down there, and the feeling of disappointment and like that's what part of being in a good team is. I mean, everyone could have said, oh, we did so well, but at the end of the day, we weren't happy with the result, and we sort of really identified where we could have got better, and hopefully in the next few weeks, if we're in that position, we can ice those games and get away with the 2 points.
There was obviously last week the story about Jackson to Pine and the lawsuit. I know you're restricted on what you can say, but just in terms of how the team is tracking, like I said, tracking positively, how do you make sure it's not a disruption?
Yeah, again, I mean, because we are such a new side, like there's a lot of new players here, we didn't really have much experience with that, and I suppose the only thing it sort of sounds a bit naive, but we are really worried about each day and turning up each day, and that's all. Again, it sounds a bit naive, but we don't really pay much attention to that, and I know, in honesty, it doesn't really have much to do with us as a team.
And just on Travis Tuma, I'm assuming you had a bit to do with him when you were at the Roosters. Ciro spoke quite highly of him. Luke Keary did yesterday in his retirement video.
Yeah.
What's your experiences with Travis like?
It's no like hiding. He demands like absolute excellence from all these players, and that's the environment that people want to be in, and that's the environment that sort of breeds success. And knowing Travis personally, he has nothing but care and like respect for everyone in the organisation, and that's I know when I had him at the Roosters, the way that the older blokes sort of spoke about him and the care that you could see they had for him and he had for them, it's something that that's always stuck with me, and he's a great man and a good trainer to train under.
How's he been the last week, mate? Because you know him better than anyone else here. Like, how's he actually just been? Have you seen it affect him at all? His mood or anything like that, or his mindset?
Again, Trav, sort of known him the last few years. He is probably the best person at not listening to what's happening outside, and I know that's what he's sort of really been big on this year, is controlling what we can control. And again, these things that people are, or that anyone's saying about him or even what he does, they've probably got no real idea or no real experience firsthand of what it is. So I dare say he's handling it pretty well. I mean, he's a grown man and he carries himself with real respect.